Too. All right, WOLFPACK. Well, it is time for our monthly family. Don't you guys like that? Wasn't it a cute family gathering? I like it because we're friends and we're family and we're dysfunctional at times, just like a normal family. So, you know, why not? So it is September of 2019, and I only say that because I record these, and sometimes you want to watch it back. I have people that kind of watch trainings, you know, from a while back. So welcome and thank you guys for joining us this evening. So we are going to start off with a little bit of recognition. You guys, how many new team members do you guys think we have welcomed this year so far? Anybody want to guess? Any guesses how many team members we've welcomed this year?
32.
Nope. Higher.
Wow.
I know, right? We have actually brought on 55 new team members this year. So
that's a speed limit. Let's move to a faster freeway.
That is really awesome, considering the goal that we set together as an organization the beginning of the year was 70 new team members. So it's September, and we are so close to reaching our organizational recruiting goal this year. So when I was sitting down looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, what? We're like this close? So we actually welcomed 8 new consultants last month. So welcome. We have Miranda Dalton that joined us, Debbie Morgan that joined us, Denise Peterson, Jennifer Ray, Mary Baird, Lisa Simpson, Rose Peterson, and Jenny Gamble all decided to join Pampered Chef last month. And we're excited to help you guys. Some of you guys have gotten off to amazing starts too. Some of you guys are already earning those new consultant rewards. How's that feel? I wish Miranda was on here because Miranda's like totally rocking it out. Like she is seriously rocking it out. So, all right. So let's talk sales real quick because again, when I looked at these numbers, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Again, we had a pretty low goal going into the month of August for our organization. And let me tell you, you guys creamed it, okay? So last year in August of 2018, we only did 13,534.56, okay? This year, as an organization, we did 25,606.34. That is 89.2% increase, you guys, for sales, which is like astronomical, right? I mean, now we're up against a pretty tough number this month. Our goal this month, we definitely had to raise the bar some. Last year in September, we did a little over 26,000 as an organization, but I'll tell you guys, we're pacing number-wise to like cremate that again too. Because right now as an organization, we're a little over 17,000 already in sales this month. So I know, right, Tiffany? Isn't that exciting?
That is.
So I think that if we keep pace, I think the same thing that we did last month, we're probably going to do this month, and we're just going to like totally blow that number out of the water. So, another thing that I wanted to share with you guys is our top 10 sellers for the month of August, because some of y'all did some numbers and I was like, wow. I mean, our top seller was only like $40 away from kicking my butt. So, you know, go ahead with your bad self, Miss Kimberly Grayson, for being our #1 seller in the month of August. Kim did $4,217 in sales. Number 2 was Roxanne Johnson with $2,933. Gail was number 3 with $1,905.20. Number 4 was Ashley Collins with $1,179.75. Number 5 was Michelle Souders with $1,079.90. Number 6 was Yvonne Shields with $1,015.47. Number 7 was Jackie and Mike with $846.95. Number 8 was Miranda Dalton. Look at that, hitting the top 10, right, in her very first, like, you know, week of business with $637.20. Number 9 was Denise Peterson with $517.20. And number 10 was Beth McCauley with $463.10. So congratulations to all of you guys for hitting our top 10 for this organization.
Way to go.
Whoop, whoop. So I thought I would start us off a little cheery because that's for me. It's I'm a numbers person. You guys should know that by now. Like Becky lives and breathes numbers. Here, we're gonna mute Tiffany because she's making noise. She's like, whatever. So anyway, I think it's important for us to recognize, those big strides that we're all taking. I wish she's not on here. I wish that Kim was on here, but she's not. She must be busy tonight. So anyway, and I know Roxanne's like on a vacation somewhere where we would all probably like to be. So anyway, we will just kind of move on with what we have planned this evening. So we are in September, which actually, how many of you guys are busy? How many of you guys have a show schedule right now? How many of you guys have parties going on? Some of you do? Yeah, some of you guys have your cameras turned off, so I can't see whether you're lifting your hand or not. You could be lifting your hand in a way I don't want to see probably. But that's okay. So, some of you guys may not be right where you want to be going into, because believe it or not, we're halfway through September. But you may not be where you want to be, halfway through the month or looking into October. And so we thought we would start off with some bookings training, which Miss Carolyn is going to lead us on. Hopefully, Carolyn, are you there? Is that her, the C? Yeah, that's her. Hopefully she's gonna.
I'm here.
You're there?
Yep, I'm here. Just crazy. Crazy.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Did you curl your hair?
Earlier.
No, it's a joke between me and Suzanne.
Oh, why?
Suzanne said you were probably curling your hair.
Oh, yeah, no. It's whatever it looks like from church earlier today. So.
Oh, it looks good. It looks way better than mine. So,
well,
all right. So Carolyn's going to kick us off with some ideas and tips for getting fall bookings. So take it away, Miss Carolyn.
Okay, you gave me some already. It's over here. Okay. Well, for starters, in regards to bookings, I know in just talking with several people that bookings seems to come natural to some of us, but then there's some that it's been really difficult. And so I just really want to throw it out there. What are some of the things that you find difficult about bookings? What are some of the things other than the definite objections of being told no? What are things that come across that, you struggle with in regards to getting bookings? Anybody?
Go ahead, Suzanne.
So I can walk up to anybody and pretty much get a booking or call people and do it one-on-one. But within a party, I get zero, zip, nothing. I'm following the outline. I'm doing everything that I keep hearing preached, but my prayers aren't being answered.
Okay. And I know, because you and we had talked about this also. So I knew you were going to go ahead and bring that up, and that's awesome. I wish that I could say that there's like an easy but I can't say that, for you, because I haven't experienced it yet, but I'm sure I will eventually. But I know a lot of times with a lot of people, because I have a lot of friends that do direct sales, the things that they often tell me is to make sure you're intentional with whatever you're saying to them, that relationships, and I know all of this, as you've already heard, is crucial. Quite often when I'm doing a booking or doing a party, I do message back and forth, and we have special messages. It's not just only on the party page itself, and if they'll give me their phone number, I do call and make it a little bit, even more personable. And that's the big thing, is to gain the people's trust. How somebody does that, it might differ from me to Becky, to Tiffany, because like a lot of times the group of people that host parties for me are their personality is very similar to mine. And so we sort of mesh. How to make somebody's personality similar to somebody else, I would say, you would have to really get to know them, find out, what they like, what they, as far as party themes, you don't have to be stuck with one specific party theme. And I know you're going to later on speak on fundraisers. And so I think, you're queen of probably party themes, because you have to adapt your fundraisers for different things. But one thing about the bookings, I've always taken the words, and I always put my own take to them. Okay, I put my own flair and personality, and it's gotten to the point where when I go ahead and I message or I talk to somebody in regards to bookings, it's I don't even use the guide as much anymore. When I first started, it was my my outline Bible. I mean, I used it so much as much anymore. In regards to when I ask somebody if they would book, okay? I still do some of the same things that I used to do, and that's, yes, I do message, but I've become a little bit more intentional in the sense of I will call them and I will talk to them. And then, I get to know them a little bit more. Usually during the parties, I've made some really great friends, and they're the ones that I go ahead and I connect with that end up booking for me. I wish I can go ahead and say what works for one person will definitely work for the other, but obviously that's not the way it is. But I would go ahead and find out what they like, and then try to use that and trying to connect. I know several of the outlines helps us to get to know them a little bit better, to see what they really are, what they are like, as a person, from the basic post of, do you like, which one is better, A, B, C, or D, and you have a picture of the books and the bed and the TV remote, and, and so you can get to know really where they are in regards to the type of person. And then when I think the next one is send me a picture of your most items for Pampered Chef, and that's one I can use it, especially when I look at the monthly themes for like September. If you know that they're wanting like the walk or something, for September, that's the main theme to go with. For October, a lot of the rectangular baker set, I think the blender is also again 60% off. There's the starter stone set. So people that are interested in getting, like new stones or like starting it up, that's a perfect time for them to go ahead and host. One of the things that I was trying to find something different than what you always hear in regards to booking. But some of the things that they went ahead and had said is that we should always go ahead and try to tell them host rewards, about the monthly host specials, the future rewards, the half price free products. But you have to make it more about them than us, okay? Because they want to know what we can do for them, not what they can do for us. And so we have to always make it about them. But remember, it's also about building the relationships. and knowing where to go. Some of the things that, like going on the internet, looking for bookings for Pampered Chef. If you go on there, there were several people that had gone ahead and said they've gone through all their, their parties. They never get a yes. They always get a no's, and they asked for help. Well, there was somebody that had gone ahead and given 118 ways in regards to as far as booking a party. And it's something to like go into and look into, because they have some great ideas. One of the ideas when I was on there was somebody had said, do a cash and carry bag where you put a couple of small products, or a brochure, that talks about the host specials and the guest specials, a catalog. And, when you least expect it, when you start talking about it, you can give it to them. Your name would be in it. Name would be on the, on the catalog. And then you can also jump into a conversation in regards to booking a party. I know I usually ask anybody and everybody, and if you're with me, it's just even random when I'm at the post office. And so, I've passed out my catalogs during that time, but when I this about the cash and carry bag, it was different. It was something new that I hadn't, heard about, and I think that's a great idea. But it's actually reaching out of the box of what what you're comfortable with. Some other things that they had gone ahead and said was, hold a Valentine's, Mother's Day, or Christmas show, specifically, for a certain group of people. Vendors. I know Tiffany and Becky are frequently doing things at vendor shows. Posting a catalog in the employees' lunchroom, mailing a catalog out to, or even the small catalogs to neighbors, friends of neighbors, asking friends, if they go ahead and give you the no, then it's like, okay, give me a list of names of people that you might think would be interested. Okay. Always mention at least about the host benefits at least 3 times during the show. That was another an example that they had given. But like, I know it doesn't always work the same thing for everybody. And then sometimes we're going to have to actually go onto the internet and really study it out and see what we can find to get those yeses. And that's pretty much what I have to say. I wish I had the easy in regards to booking, and explaining, what will work and what won't work. But a lot of times, following the outline, it does. And I know that's not what, some people want to hear, because they've done all that. Okay. They've exhausted all that, and they right. And, I would say it's time you just go on the internet and look, hosting Pampered Chef parties. You can find some answers out there as far as other ways of getting those those bookings. Okay. Becky, are you still on?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I do.
Oh.
I know you would.
I was looking like a robot, wasn't I? I was like ninja. I wasn't even moving. Just my husband's moving. I'm not. Well, thanks, Carolyn. Hopefully, I think one of the things to remember, guys, is that there's no magic wand for any of us to get bookings. Because trust me, if I could wave the magic wand and give you guys all bookings, I would be like the booking fairy, and I would do that for each and every one of you guys. But it's definitely not a simple solution when it comes to any business. You know, every business, there's going to be opportunities. Sometimes you're going to see, you know, some of our people will stay in the top of the sales for our team for months and months, and then all of a sudden they disappear because they have the same problems that you guys face, right? We all really, in reality, we all face the same issues at some point in our careers with Pampered Chef. With doing this for 8 years, I will tell you that I struggle just like you guys do. The difference is always going to be how you react to it, okay? So if you look at your calendar and it's empty, are you complacent and just looking at the calendar and you're like, oh, well, I don't have any bookings, okay? Or are you like hair on fire? Oh my gosh, I have no bookings, right? Because that's really what's going to determine your success is how you react to your calendar. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. You know, you will always find a way if you're that bound and determined. So, you know, I think that that's part of the challenge is finding our own personal motivation to really, you know, okay, if something's not working, well, if it's not working, don't keep doing what's not working, right? Find a solution, find a way that's going to work for you. So I'll tell you that, you know, fundraising is an amazing opportunity, especially right now, this time of the year for you guys. So maybe you're stuck. Maybe you're at that point where you're like, okay, I can't get a booking to save my life, Becky. What can I do to change it? So I want to encourage you guys to really learn about fundraising. You know, right now, Relay for Life teams are huge fundraising, right? Lots of your different pet, you know, like I'm getting ready to do one for Appalachian Cat Rescue. A lot of your animal rescue programs going into fall and winter, they're raising money right now to stock up on supplies. So, you know, again, with fundraising, you want to think outside of the box a little bit. And so tonight we have Suzanne that's going to kind of lead us on some training. Suzanne just joined our team March 26th of this year, you guys. But I will tell you that she's really impressed me with the way that, you know, she is really committed to at least once a month trying to have a fundraiser on her calendar. And she's had major success with it. I think, Suzanne, correct me if I'm wrong, but every one of your fundraisers has been over $1,000? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So who better than to, you know, teach you guys how to do a fundraiser or give you ideas around fundraisers than Suzanne. So Suzanne, take it away.
Thanks, Becky.
Welcome.
So real quick, since she took part of my introduction, so I don't have to waste time on that, thank you for sharing who I am. And when I came on board, I do want to let everyone know that keeping the momentum is key. I dropped my business last month for some personal reasons, and I regret it. Luckily, I have some fundraisers planned for this month, next month, and November, so that's great news for me. But that momentum that we were talking about, I feel like I'm starting from scratch again. So please hold on to it and work it the best you can. Even if you have to taper down, don't let it go. It sucks. I don't want to cry because I really feel like I'm back at the bottom. I'm starting from the bottom of my pool again. But I have 8 steps for fundraisers, and then I'll get a little bit into it. So please grab a pencil and a paper. I'll also send it back out to you guys. Super easy, quick to jot down quick notes. So the first step is know how Pampered Chef handles fundraisers. I can't tell you how many times I see posts on Facebook or elsewhere, and people are like, oh, I want to help my son's Little League earn money. I want to do it for this. I want to do it for that. And, you know, it's not for just anybody. It's for nonprofits that have a federal tax ID number that are a functioning nonprofit organization. So it's not like, oh, we want to do a block party. It doesn't work that way. So first understand how PC does it. They take 10% of your commissionable sales for the first $599 and send it to the nonprofit. It's a check from Pampered Chef that goes directly to the organization. You never see it. So make sure you get the correct address and person that it's supposed to go to. In addition to that, Anything over, so $600 or more, goes to 15%. It's really important that you understand how Pampered Chef handles their fundraisers. They have, and I'm sorry, I don't have a quick document, so I'm going to give you a bad screenshot. You may have seen an image that looks something like this. And down at the very bottom here, you can insert information. What I do is I include that I will match their earnings from PC. Now, that's my discretion, and it's at your discretion if you do that as well. But I have found where I did it, it gave me better results. Where I didn't do it, it lagged a little bit. 10% compared to 20% gets people engaged. 15% to 30%, people are more engaged. And I've seen better results. The other thing I do is I extend to organizations I appreciate and believe deserve the extra gift from my heart. I extend to the next party, any bookings from their fundraiser, I will contribute 10% of those commissionable sales. Now you might be thinking, Suzanne, you're crazy, you're giving away all your money. That is just who I am. I do give away 50% of every commission check I get. Becky was kind of like big-eyed on my first one. What are you doing with this great check? 50% is going to the commission, to the nonprofit. If you're that kind of person and you're a giver, then maybe this will work for you. But do what's passionate to you. You don't have to do a fundraiser and match the dollars. By all means, you don't have to do that. So just know that this is working for me and I'm getting good money and I'm still making improvements around my house with what little cash I'm pulling back out. So I gave you kind of one step and a lot of information, but here's the rest of the steps. 2, use the host fundraiser flyer that I showed you and make sure you put down your information in that little corner that I showed you with my fingernail. That is where I put in how I handle the parties, and I will share that with you as a document so you can see what I'm doing and see if it works for you or modify it to your liking. Number 3, our outline that we get, thank you Becky for always doing that for us, will not work for you. So know that going in. It's not going to work in a fundraiser. So 3.1 of that is consider Grammarly. Grammarly is an online application that you can add in as a business, running virtual type of text, writing letters, anything like that. It's going to help you have a professional image in every Facebook post you do. You'll be amazed at how many commas you can pull out, add in, things that they'll recommend for you instead of words that you're using, and really polished approach. So I use Grammarly and it helps me clean up everything. Becky, your outlines are fabulous, but it catches things in there that we might not catch. I look it over and then I still find things from Grammarly. So going down the list here, add in all of those solutions, that's going to give you a really polished look. So from there, do your research. Know the organization you're working with and really understand it inside and out. Look at their Facebook page. Look at their website. Make sure you're digging. Who are their key persons? What have been their challenges? What are they serving? How are people engaging with them? Why are people enrolled in servicing this fundraiser or this organization, if you will? And then when you have done your research, contact them. Ask for images, stories, things, pictures, things that you can include in your virtual party that will engage their community. You have to know your audience to sell them. So if you're just trying to run an outline party, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to do you a lot of good. You can use it as a filler. I pull a lot of Becky's images and a lot of her posts, and I do it as fillers in between. If I'm doing a dog rescue, I'm putting in a lot of pictures of dogs that are cooking in the kitchen, dog recipes, things that we would use to make that happen. And then I'm just trying to make sure that I don't go past my time here. Make sure you build it, make sure you run it, and make sure you close it. every engagement is about how do you know instead of the host, how have you come to work with this this organization? Why are you passionate about your nonprofit? Why is raising money right now important for that nonprofit organization? What are they up to? So I do a lot of dog stuff. So I do have a lot of dog rescues. I have a dog trainer that works with vets. He's my next one that's coming in here later this month. It's called Connor's Canine. And he works with vets that come back that need support dogs. And he trains these dogs to support and service vets. And so his stories are really broad spread. And it's key to get to know those and those pain points that they have so that you can draw in people. Think about when you read those sob stories on Wounded Warriors or, you know, SPCA, all of those type of stories. I'm not saying leverage the sad stories, but talk about how you're going to help them through this with a success story. Now, you might be wondering real quick, how much time do I have, Becky? I'm 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
So real quick, I want to make sure that I add this in there for you guys. When you are talking with the fundraiser, how do you get them to buy into you doing a Pampered Chef party? Hey, I know it might not be like the biggest amount that you're ever going to raise, but minimum, I'm averaging $400 to $500 a show. Would that be helpful for you? Oh my gosh, yes. What do I have to do? Really nothing. You just need to invite your community. Post it on your site, your Facebook site, where your donation site is. You can bring your donation site into the virtual party. I try not to encourage that because that's, well, if I'm going to give them money, I'm just going to give them all the money. But a lot of people need kitchen items. So let's talk about what they need. It's coming up on the holidays, probably a great time to look at it. I'll include all of your great information to the best of my ability, and let's see what we can create. I have not had a no on a fundraiser yet. In fact, they take so much time. It's basically doing 2.5 parties to 1 party, so I won't lie there. But the benefits far outweigh it. And if you have a heart that wants to give, it's a huge, huge win-win. And people will book off of it, especially if they know, hey, if I book off of this, I'm going to get all of the host gifts, and you're still going to contribute something back. Decide what works for you. But know that when you give, you receive. So that's where we live in my household. We're always giving as much as we can. And this has been a whirlwind success for me with fundraisers. And I have made, I can't tell you how many friends and ongoing followers. They're following my VIP page, they're following my Facebook page, they're doing it and they're engaged and they're booking parties for themselves now, even though there's no paid back. It's just not at the level I would hope it is based on my shutdown last month. But I am finding it very successful, and I hope you do as well. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm free to open up or free to answer any questions. But if you've heard anything that doesn't sound like you've been guided in the past, or what you thought to be true or is controversial in any concept, please follow up with your upline director. I don't mean to create any controversy in any regard if you heard anything that you thought to be different. But best of success to you all, and I encourage you, book a fundraiser a month. Even if you have to go small, 1 a month. I swear you will see a difference. Thanks, everyone.
I can't agree with her more, guys. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. Like, I feel like a dinosaur when it comes to being a Pampered Chef consultant on our team. But, you know, one of the things I want to, like, you know, how do you get fundraisers? That's always going to be the question. So 2 things for you guys. Number 1, you, ready for it? You can do a fundraiser anytime you want to for your own favorite personal charity. So how best to start working with fundraisers than to do your own and let people see how generous your spirit is that way, okay? Pick your favorite charity, no matter what it is. You know, every year I do one for Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation because my son is a type 1, you know, diabetic, and so they're one I support. And guys, be observant. When you're scrolling through Facebook, because I know we all waste time going like this every day, right? We're going like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Read people's posts, okay? A couple weeks ago, I had one of my friends that, she was, seeking donations for COPS, which is concerns of police survivors. Okay. She is a spouse of a police officer. And so they were raising money for her to do a walk. Well, I support them anyway. Every year I've always donated to her. And so I did my normal donation to her, but then I messaged her and I was like, hey, how close are you to reaching your goal this year? And she's like, oh, I'm still like $500 away. And I said, I know this is probably the furthest thing from your mind, but what would you think about doing a Pampered Chef fundraiser? Guys, that fundraiser closed 3 days ago at $1,700. Okay. And me, I personally, and just because, again, I've been doing this for a long time, I donate almost all of my commission, just like Suzanne does. And it's a tax write-off for me at the end of the year. So it's a win-win situation. I'm giving back to, an organization. I'm helping one of my friends and lifetime customers because, these are not just customers. These are lifetime customers that you're connecting and building with. Because when people know that you have a giving spirit and heart, they're going to remember you. Like, you will be the first Pampered Chef person that pops in their mind because they've had great experiences with you, and so have their friends. I booked 3 shows off of it, okay? So not only did I book a fundraiser now for pediatric leukemia this month, but I also booked 2 shows. Okay, so I booked another fundraiser because they know how successful it was, and then I booked 2 more shows. So fundraisers have a ton of potential for you guys. You just have to tap into it, okay? And so if you don't know where to start with yourself, okay? That's how I would encourage you guys. All right, so we're gonna move from giving through fundraisers to giving to the potential of other people, okay? And so Tiffany is gonna kind of talk about recruiting and why recruiting is absolutely so important this time of the year.
Okay, so what I want you guys to think about is, think about when you were asked to be a PC consultant. Who asked you? How many times they asked you? How long did it take you to decide whether you wanted to take on this challenge in your life or not? And you made that decision. So think back to when you joined. We have a couple people that have been in this for a couple weeks, a couple months, half a year, a couple years. So you might not know how many times your recruiter asked you. But for me, I went to a show back in 2006, 2007, and I thought about joining, but I decided not to because life happened. And then back in 2016, 10 years later, I was invited to 2 parties, to which Becky was a consultant for both of those. And just with my participation and the enthusiasm throughout the party that I had, talking about the products, kind of cross-selling to my friends, Becky saw something in me that, she made mention to me about it. And I'm thinking back to this as, I talk and I'm like, I was like, she was planting seeds in me that I didn't even know she was doing it. She's that good. So, just think about how and when you started. What did you do, or what was said to you to make you decide on joining? It took me 3 months to decide whether I wanted to do this business or not. I had so many questions for Becky. I went to 3 team meetings, and then I finally jumped in December of 2016. So when you're going forward of thinking about wanting to recruit people, I know I was hesitant for a very long time, like a year and a half, whether I wanted to do this business or do recruiting or not, have anybody under me. Becky saw something in me that I didn't see. She introduced me to Beth. Beth wanted to do virtual. I took her on because that's all I did was virtual. So Beth joined my team thanks to Becky, and it just grew from there. After having Beth on my team, it was just like, this is easier than what I thought. So don't think, even if you're new to this or even a veteran of years, don't think that you can't do this. You can. So what I want you guys to think about is we have another group on our WOLFPACK page that is called When Opportunity Knocks. So if you are talking to somebody, whether it's in a party, at a party, on the street, talking to somebody on Facebook, and they ask you questions about Pampered Chef, and you tell them a little bit about the business, add them to this group. This gives them the opportunity to see what we have available in our, month-to-month specials for our recruits. Keeps them abreast of what's going on with Pampered Chef. So that's one thing. And that you'll hear throughout, if you go on to different things on Pampered Chef's Consultant Corner, it's called Look and Learn. And that's what this business group is that Becky has created. So when you're talking to people at parties, let me ask you this. Are you, and I kind of got this from Becky, so I'm putting kind of my own twist on it. Are you selling the kit, or are you selling the opportunity for the business? And what she has told me was there's a difference between the two. And we didn't go on, she told me a little bit, but we didn't really go into depth. So I sat down, wrote it down, and I was like, yeah, there is a difference. Because if you're selling the kit, you're telling this potential host or guest or friend that, hey, we have these 3 amazing kits, and doesn't matter which one you choose, they're yours to keep, whether you decide to do this business or not. We just ask you to try, for 30 days. So you're basically selling the kit. Now, if you're selling the opportunity, and there's a reason why I'm wearing my apron right now, look at it this way. You're selling the apron, okay? And with this Pampered Chef apron that we get, if you look at it, let me take the back off here. So if you look at it, we have 2 strings that we tie in the back, okay? And if you pull one side, it could get closer to your neck, or if you pull the other side, it could get further away. You have the opportunity to tell somebody that this business is flexible to their schedule. So they have the ability to adjust it to their life. So think of it that way, of selling the opportunity about the business to somebody, because at that point, you don't know what their needs are. You need to dig a little bit deeper and have that conversation, build that relationship with them. So think of it as the apron. And if you want to have ideas, I don't know if most of you know, but I know Becky knows, there's a group of, it's called Coffee Talk, and there is different topics that they go through every Saturday. And I did some homework today because I'm not the best at recruiting. So I mean, yes, do I have a team? Of course I do. I've planted seeds in, my host, and, whether I knew I was doing it, but it happened. For example, Lisa, who's on with us now, she just joined, but she joined before her party even started, which was amazing. I've never had that happen before. I didn't even approach her about it. She just asked me a question like, how would this work with my party? And thank you, Lisa. So it was a learning experience for me. She has, blown it out of the water with her launch party. She's well on her way. She's already hit, the $750, the incentive for the monthly consultant incentive. She hit her first rewards for a new consultant. Her goal is to get the cooking blender for free, which is the new consultant incentive for the month. So she has her goals set already. And we've had plenty of talks. So that was a new experience for me, having a host join before their party. There's words in the outline. So utilize the words that Becky has put forth in the outline and wait for the reaction. When you come back with a conversation and like you built that conversation and it gets to the point where you're like, okay, well, keep asking the questions. Let them come back. Never say, well, let me know. And I've learned this from listening to some of the coffee talk conversations. They say that's the kiss of death. Don't say it, because that just abruptly stops that conversation, and you can't go forward with that. So keep asking questions, find out what they want. No, my time's not up. That's so mean. You took all my time. Anyways, so always listen in the conversations for those soft no's, because somebody might just need that one more ask. So you ask them, and they're like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't think I have time. That's like a soft no to you. Ask them one more time. Some people need that reassurance that you see something in them that they don't know that they have. So ask them one more time. We don't, as consultants, have the right to judge where they're at in their life, whether the single parent, what's going on in their life. Don't make that decision for them. Let them make that decision for themselves. So, but I'm going to end with this one quote. I did have a couple more things, but since my time's up, and I got this from Coffee Talk, if you guys are interested.
Hold on. Is everybody okay if we run over a couple minutes tonight? Because it's going to be worth it. I mean, we won't go like 30 minutes over, but
No.
if you need to hop off, you need to hop off. I mean, I just want to make sure. I mean, if we go a couple minutes over, Tiffany, I would rather you finish up your training, if everybody is game for it. So everybody good? Well, give me a thumbs up. Should Tiffany keep going? Because I think it's pretty important. So, okay, go for it, girl. Keep going.
Okay. So we don't have the right to judge where somebody is in their life. So a system that like I said, I got this stuff from the recruiting calls on Coffee Talk. If you need some more information on how to get to Coffee Talk, let us know. We can help you. It's great training on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock, I think. And they're like between 15 to a half hour long. That is it. And they're documented, so you could go back and listen to them. I mean, I went through probably 3 years of calls that were already done, and I found recruiting ones. So one of the systems that the one lady had, and I got some from Julie Ritter, Karen Zadie, and Rachel Hansen. One of the ladies said she keeps a notebook. She contacts 40 people a month. And then when she has parties, she writes down names of course, the host, rock stars in her party, and people that might have curious questions within the party. She puts the R or host, like the H, R, and C next to their names so she could keep track of what they are. That's her system. And then, of course, the 5 asks of the host. Planting the seeds, a couple compliments to the host, that kind of like plants that seed. And then when you're talking to the host, set goals for the party. Let her know about the kick coupon. So once her party hits 300, she's unlocked the kick coupon. Let her know that. Tell her that it's $25. When she hits 400, let her know that it's $50. If she gets a booking before she reaches that, tell her it's a business opportunity for her to start her own business, because you'll give those bookings to her. And they had said in this one call that they don't know of anybody in leadership of Pampered Chef that has been disappointed by giving the current host the bookings from that party to start their own business. There's no one in Pampered Chef that has disagreed with that. So you're giving them the opportunity to build their own business by giving them their bookings that they've earned in that show. Another thing that you could do is go live in their shows with your why. Tell them why you started. And then in this notebook also, next to the names that you've talked to, write down yeses, like a Y next to their name, that have given you some inclination that they wanted to start the business. If they're maybe, put an M next to their name. If they're no's, put a no. And then the next month she would put those people, the Y or the yes and maybes, at the top of the list, and she would contact them again the next month. So this consultant, who is, I think, I can't remember which one it was, but she is up there in ranks, and her whole thing is recruiting. So she has placed a system within her team to do this, and she's followed it, and it has worked for her. Not saying that it's going to work for everybody, but you need a system on what you need to do. So I'm going to end with a quote that I got from one of these calls, and we all have dreams and goals. And for dreams and goals to work, you need a plan, and you need to be consistent with implementing this plan, okay? So a plan is a bridge to your dream. Your job is to make the plan and bridge real so that your dream will become real. If all you do is stand at the side of the bank and dream of the other side, your dreams will forever be just dreams. That's it.
Interesting. And, you know, going back to where she started, there was a reason why I didn't tell Tiffany the definition. You guys seen how she was like, well, we didn't have time to talk about the rest of whether you're selling the kit or you're selling the opportunity. There was a reason why I didn't share the rest of that, because I wanted her to figure that out, right? You know, sometimes we give you all the information, but then you don't have time to process it. But sometimes we need to sit back and process things to really understand why, right? And that's really the case with a lot of things in our business. So I have a question for you guys. What does the word inspire mean to you? If I ask you right now, what does the word inspire, what does it mean to you?
Something that motivates me to take action.
Okay, anybody else have a different interpretation of the word inspire? Inspire can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. Suzanne pretty much hit the dictionary, you know, almost verbatim. But, you know, our job as Pampered Chef consultants are to inspire other people, right? Whether it be our hosts or someone to join our business. But we also come back to the fact that sometimes we have to be inspired to keep going. Okay. And so we're going to kind of talk about that for a second. And what do I mean by inspiring other people? What do I mean by inspiring our customers? You know, sometimes when you're in a place with your business that, you know, you're not getting the bookings that you want to have on your calendar, sometimes it's a matter of our vision is not really coming full circle to our customers, right? They're really not seeing what we're after in our business to know that they need to be a part of it. We're not inspiring them to really desire our products. Okay. So I question you guys, are you inspiring your customers? Are you inspiring them to want to book a show with you? You know, right now is the perfect opportunity with the middle of September to inspire people to book October parties using the host special. Okay. And so what do I mean by that? So we know next month we have the blender, right? When you sell $550, the host can get the blender for 60% off. We also have the stoneware starter set and the rectangular baker set. So how can you use those three products right now to inspire people to book a show with you? Well, what you can do is provide recipes, right? Recipes always inspire people. And so if they don't own the products, guess what? You now have them craving or desiring those products. And so, if you start posting some of the recipes that are on Consultant's Corner for the rectangular baker or the blender, or going live with the blender, you're going to have people that are going to desire those products. And then the natural repercussion from that is them booking a show with you. So, those are all ways that we can inspire other people. But I think sometimes we get to the point in our business where we need to be inspired ourselves in order to inspire others. Have you guys ever some of you guys are new, so you might not hit that plateau yet. But some of you guys that have been with me for a little while, you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I've lost my mojo, right? I'm just like, oh, I don't know. It's like work. Guys, when you stop having fun at any job, it's time right then and there to really reevaluate yourself. Okay? Sometimes you're going to come to a place in your life where, the job that you love, you may have fell out of love with it, and you need to re-inspire yourself to really, find that passion for it again. And sometimes in life, you do just have to walk away because it's really not what inspires you anymore. Okay. So, what is the definition of inspire? It's mentally stimulated to do something or feel something. Okay. So if you're not feeling your business right now, if you're not feeling inspired to tomorrow sit down and, work on your plan for your business or create your own personal vision for your business, then it is time to kind of sit down and really evaluate what you want. Because I'll tell you, people can see it. People can feel it, right? They can feel your passion. They can feel your love of the business or your not so much love of the business. And if you're not inspired every day to walk into your kitchen and use Pampered Chef products, then are you at the right place doing the right thing? Does that make sense to you guys? You have to feel inspired in this business. And when you have that inspiration, you're going to get amazing results. So something I like to do, has anyone ever created a vision board for themselves? Okay. I find this really, really important for me. When I get to that place where I've lost my inspiration, sorry about the kid with the underwear. That's not very inspiring. I will sit down and evaluate where I'm at. Okay. And I actually just did this recently because of a program I'm in. So sometimes you sit down and you're like, okay, so I've hit X, Y, and Z goal for the year, but really, how do I want to finish the year? What do I want the rest of my year to look like? Okay. And when you're doing a vision board, the kid, I swear, I'm going to get him a cape for our meeting. When you're doing a vision board, these are the factors that you want to consider when you're making one. So you want something to show your why, okay? You want it to connect to why you're doing this business. You want to have your personal goals for your business on your vision board. How do you want this business to financially help you and your family? How is this business going to help you achieve personal growth? If you're a spiritual person, where does spirituality come in on your vision, with your vision? Maybe you're a faithful person and maybe there's a quote of scripture that, you kind of go to. Maybe that's a piece of your vision. And where does health fit into all of it? So, I pulled some vision boards from some of my friends, and I'm going to share some of those with you so you guys can see what a vision board could look like. And a vision board doesn't have to be like, those big science boards or whatever. If you use Canva and you create pictures, create one just using pictures. You know, it's very simple. Okay, so here's one of my friend's vision boards. Can everyone see that? So she wants to promote to an executive director. She wants to be empowering. She wants to earn excellence in 3 categories. Of course, you see money in the background, right? Because she wants financial freedom. They want to actually buy their first home. And her family, you know, those are her family. Everything's surrounded by family, and she has her Disney in the background there too. So that's one. Let's share another one. All right, so we've got this one I really like because it is pretty OCD, kind of like me. It's very numbers oriented. She's got her goals. She's counting it down. She wants to hone her skills, wants to earn Disney. She wants to promote 2 directors, wants her paycheck to be $1,500 a month. She wants to pray every day, exercise, 3,000 in sales per month, 12 shows per month, be more present with her family, create a recruiting atmosphere. She wants to work on her health, excellence in recruiting, and she wants to be intentional. All right, so we'll share mine. Ooh, where did it go? Is it there? I told you guys, I have too many pictures up. Okay, can you guys see that one? Okay, so there's mine. So I want to achieve 2 categories for Excellence Award. This is the jewelry that we earn this year when we do it. I want to try to exercise 2 times per week, saving money. I want to promote to a senior director by November 2019. I want to help enable, educate, and empower people. I want to pay my car off by December 2019. Be first month of qualified as an executive director by January 2020. And I want to go hiking with my family at least 2 times a month. So what do you guys see on this vision board?
A lot of personable things about Becky.
Right. And do you notice that it's time bound? Do you guys notice that? So when you're time bound, yeah. Yeah. So you have to have a plan, right? So I could tell you I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. And, you know, if I'm not giving myself an idea of when I want to accomplish it by, am I really setting a goal? You know, is that really a goal for myself that's going to be achievable? Maybe eventually it'll be achievable, right? But when you're setting any type of goal, you want to be as specific as possible with your goal, okay? So that's where your vision board comes in. You want to kind of sit down and say, you know what, how do I want to finish out this year? Okay, so if I were to ask any of you guys, how do you want to finish out this year? You know, what are some things that you want to reach? What are some things that you want to do with your business and your family and your life and your financial freedom and your spirituality and all those things? What do you want to do? So I have a little project, a little team project in the house. I love team projects. So I'm going to post my vision board, okay, on the WOLFPACK organization page. And what I would love to see is you guys share yours down below in the comments. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, okay? But I just want to see, you know, where you want to go. What is your dreams, right? You guys see my dreams. What is your dreams? Because in order for us to help you guys reach your dreams, we have to know what they are. And no matter if it's big or small, you know, like I've told you guys before, they all matter. Every one of them matter. You know, so even if it's, you know, it can be a digital, like you can use Canva to do it. If you have a piece of poster board, you know, get some newspapers, like do whatever, but just do one for yourself. And then you hang that or put that somewhere every day where you work and let that inspire you guys. Let that motivate you. Let that push you towards your dreams, not away from your dreams, but toward them. Because I'm telling you, you know, has anyone ever crawled in the deep, dark dungeon? Anybody know what I'm talking about? You go, you hide like under a rock somewhere, and you don't really want to deal with the world because the world's scary and judgmental. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, we've all been there, right? And I find that this is one of the ways that pulls me out of my little deep, dark dungeon is I re-inspire myself by looking at that vision board and saying, you know what? I can do this. I can reach those goals. I am bigger than my fear. I am much bigger than my fear. Anybody afraid of failing?
Yes.
Everybody, right? All of us are. Now, my question for you is, are you going to let your fear hold you back? Or are you going to let your fear push you forward? Because, you know, fear has a way of doing that. Fear really can stall any kind of progress that you're making in your life. It has a way of crippling you. You know, it has this effect on you that can really be devastating, and really take you from a spot where you're finding all of your success and just completely stop the car. And nobody really wants to be in that spot, right? And so, you know, the other thing I want to make sure you guys know is that we are here to help you guys, not just with Pampered Chef, okay? But if you need a Dr. Phil moment with Becky, I'm here, right? I am a great listener. Laura, ask Laura. I am a great listener, and I've had a lot of crappy experiences in my life, and I'm sure we all probably can attest to that. We've probably all experienced some really cruddy things in our lives. And sometimes I find the best therapy is just someone to listen to me. Just someone to say, you know what, I just need to talk. Let's grab a cup of coffee on Zoom and let's just talk. It's that judge-free zone. It's that dump it all out. And then guess what? When you get it all out sometimes, then it's time to say, you know what, let me get a plan back in place. Sometimes you just got to, you know, dig a hole and bury all the crap in it and pat the dirt over top of it and say, you know what, I'm not going back there. So I want to leave you guys with 2 quotes. And this one I thought was pretty interesting. Strategic planning is worthless unless there is first a strategic vision. Who can create that vision? Only you can. Only you know what your path forward looks like, right? Nobody else can make that path for you but you. And this one was like, cool. This one kind of hit me in the gut a little bit. Instead of letting your hardships and failures discourage or exhaust you, let them inspire you. Because I can tell you, fear and failure will kill a dream like no other. So, my friends, it's time to focus on what's in front of you, not what's behind you. When you experience a failure, guess what? That was yesterday, right? Or it was last month, or it was the month before. And there's really not a reason to rehash it because you're in a new day and you can change tomorrow. You can't change yesterday, right? But you can change tomorrow. You're the only one that can control that. So, anybody have any questions?
Can I share a quote I heard recently?
Absolutely. I love quotes.
Think of it this way. You've survived 100% of your worst days.
Ooh, I like that. That's pretty interesting. It's so true, though, right?
Can't deny it if you're still here.
Yep. It's
Great night, everyone. I got to get.
Anybody else have anything? Good night, Miss Suzanne. Thank you. No questions? All right. Well, if you need me or Tiffany or Carolyn, you guys know how to reach us, right? So if you need to have a conversation or a cup of coffee and just unload, or, you know, someone to help you make a plan, that is exactly what we're here for, guys. You all have the same opportunity. We all have the same 24 hours a day, but it's all in how you utilize that time. So thank you, guys. Everybody have a good night.